Did you watch part 1?
Hey. Trips that you plan for the next whole week. Been so long from a nigga so cheap and your flex so D and sex.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Yanni and you're watching Beauty with Yanni. For those who are tuning in for the very first time, welcome to my channel. So I am back with a part 2. Well, that's 4. 2. Part 2 of this how-to series will include how to do a cut crease, cut crease, cut crease. I'm so happy to be sharing my cut crease techniques with you guys today. So without further ado, before we get into this video, don't forget to follow your girl on social media and hit that subscribe button down below and that bell notification so you get notified when I'm posting another video. Hey, maybe even part 3. Alright guys, let's go ahead and jump into this video. How did y'all like my part 1? Did y'all watch part 1? Because if you didn't watch part 1, y'all need to go ahead and get on that. I'll leave it on here on screen so y'all can go ahead and get into part 1 if you haven't watched part 1. Okay, so right now this is part 2. Again, y'all, we are doing a cut crease, so let's go ahead and get started. First things first, I like to prep my eyes. If you were watching part 1, then you already know I have my eyes already prepped with some concealer. I use the ColourPop concealer in the shade Dark 40 right here, and I just use it to clean my brows, and I just drag the concealer right on down so I can get ready for my eyeshadow application. So for today's video, I'm going to be using 2 palettes. I'm going to take this Oldie But a Goodie Masquerade palette from Juvia's Place, and I'm also going to be taking the James Charles Morphe collab palette. So to start off, I'm taking my Sigma E40 brush. Then I'm going to go in with, I'm not even going to try to pronounce these names. I think that's Burkina. But I'm going in with this shade right here from the Juvia's Place palette. You want to just dust off the excess. And this is going to be my transition shade. So I'm just going to, let me scoot up a little bit. So I'm going to take this shade and I'm going to apply it into my crease. And I use windshield wiper motions. So you want to deposit the color and then use windshield wiper motions back and forth like such. And this is just going to give you a nice transition. This is the perfect transition for anybody, any shade, bam. You want to do the same thing on the other eye. Once you dust off the excess, you want to deposit the color. You can pat it and then use windshield wiper motions to buff it in. I really like using fluffy blending brushes for transition shades. It just helps it blend a lot better. Again, windshield wiper motions. And then you can also go back and do circular motions to buff it up towards the brow bone. Like so. Ooh, give me a little smoky vibes, a little smoky smoke. Next, taking that same brush, I'm gonna go in with the shade Zulu right here. And I'm just going to apply that right into my crease on top of that transition shade. So, same thing. Deposit the color and work your way in. Windshield wiper motions, back and forth. And then go ahead and use circular motions to buff it up. Do the same thing on the other side. It's just back and forth, and then buff and circular motions up towards the brow bone. Okay, so now that you have both transition shades down, you can go in with a more deeper color. I'm going to take another brush. I'm going to go in with this Sigma tapered blending brush in the shade, this Sigma tapered blending brush in the style E35. This is the E35 brush, and I'm just going in with this color here called Autumn. It's this color right here. Let me actually show you guys. It's like a reddish brownish color, chocolatey color, and I'm just gonna apply that, or like a deep orange probably. And I'm just gonna apply that right into the crease right here. Give me a little bit more warmth. So for this one, You're gonna apply it more towards the outer third, right there in that crease, right under the hood. Right under the hood. I just made that up. I'm just gonna apply it right there. And then you're gonna use flicking motions to flick towards the center of the eye and the center of the crease. And then windshield wiper motions back and forth into the crease. Like so. And then you're gonna do the same thing on the other eye. And the key is blending, 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 and more blending. So because we're gonna blend all day, every day, no, I'm just kidding. So we're gonna go back in with that Sigma E40 brush or your very first blending brush. And because it's so fluffy, we're just gonna use it to diffuse everything together. So you would just wanna start here at the brow bone, circular motions, buffing all the way up into the brow bone. From the front to the back, from the back to the front. Again, from the front to the back, from the back to the front. Again, from the front to the back, from the back to the front. Y'all, I play all day. So this is what your eyes should look like so far. Okay, so for the very, very last shade, I'm gonna take this shade Fulani. Right here, I'm gonna take this shade right here. A little smoky smoke and a little definition. It's like a deep, deep brown. I'm gonna apply that here. You're gonna pat it. You're gonna work your way in. Oh, I took another brush, by the way. I'm sorry. This is the BH Cosmetics number 5 brush. This one is more of the pinched ferrule at the top, and it's like a tapered at the top. It's a little raunchy, but it's a tapered. I'm just taking that brush in the shade Fulani. Again, I'm patting here on the outer third of the crease of the eye, and then work my way in. Windshield wiper motions. Pat and work my way in. Windshield wiper motions. Okay, y'all, I lied. I want to take one more color, so I'm gonna go in with that Morphe James Charles palette. This palette is huge. Ooh, I don't like taking this palette because remember that palette broke on me. Like one of the colors in here broke, so I really be trying not to reach for this palette no more, but it's so good. Okay, so y'all, I'm taking this like a brown black color. I'm trying not to get this green everywhere because it broke on me, but I'm taking this brown black color from the Morphe James Charles palette, and then I'm taking it on that same brush that I used from before, the BH Cosmetics number 5 brush. I dust off the excess, and then I'm going to apply it right on top of that Fulani shade right there. See? Woo! So with this color, with dark colors, you just want to apply it on the outer part of the eye. Just pat it in, pat, pat, pat. And then you want to lightly work your way in. Lightly. Because it'll start to move out like so. So pat it very lightly into the outer third and work your way in. Like so. And this should stay directly in the crease. So again, right down here. Windshield wiper motions back and forth. Keep it directly in the crease. So that way you give your crease a little bit definition. Like so. And then you want to do the same thing on the other eye. And it should slowly but surely start to blend out on its own. You want to go back in with that very, very first blending brush that you use for your first transition shade. And then you want to go in, start at the very top of the brow bone again, and then circular motions buff up towards the brow bone. Again, this is just going to diffuse all of the colors together. Like so. And it should blend so seamlessly. You shouldn't be able to see eyeshadow 1, eyeshadow 2, eyeshadow 3, eyeshadow 4, eyeshadow 5. Like, you shouldn't see that. It should be all one. But you should still see like that light to dark effect, like that faded look. That's what you want to see. You don't want the lines to be harsh is what I'm trying to say. Alright y'all, so that's pretty much it for the crease shades. For now. Okay, so for the next most important part of this video, we're gonna cut the motherfucking crease. Okay, we're gonna cut the crease. So for cutting the crease today, I'm using the P. Louise base. This is the P. Louise base in the shade Rumor 4. So because it is a squeeze tube for this product, I like to deposit it into the back of my hand. So I'm just gonna apply it. I'm just gonna squeeze a little bit, because a little bit go a long way. I'm telling y'all, this should last y'all for quite some months. Well, I guess depending on how often you do makeup and cut creases, that should last you quite a while. I'm using the Morphe M167 brush. It's a very, very flat brush. So I'm gonna take this Morphe brush and I'm just going to dip it into the product, the P. Louise base. And then, it's like, I'm shaking over here, woo! Okay, so I'm going to take the product. Now when you do a cut crease, you wanna first take the product and let's start from the end working out, okay? So you wanna start, you wanna apply it, you wanna press the brush into the eyelid. That's just one swipe, right? Now, the key of a cut crease is to kind of overdraw your crease. You want to make your eyelid appear bigger than what it already is. Okay, so you want to start here. And you just want to pat and flick out. That's the key. Pat and flick out. So again, pat and flick out. Pat and flick out. You're patting and flicking out away from your face while doing the cut crease, starting from the top to the bottom. You flick out. And you're doing it in the crease. So flick out, flick out, flick out. So it should start to make that arch. I'm trying to hold my mirror and then do it for y'all at the same time with one hand, so it's a little tricky, but bear with me. So again, start here. So you just basically pat and flick down. And you're basically carving out your eyes. Now I'm gonna look down so you guys can see a little bit better. You could also drag your brush, like sort of like outlining the eye. That's another easier way to do it. So you can pat and flick and then go up and like carve out, kind of sort of like carve out the cut crease or carve out the crease. And then if it helps, you can also take your finger and hold your eye down so that way you can see better. And this will also help you get a better look at what you're doing when you're doing the cut crease. And take your time when you do a cut crease. It does not have to be done super, super fast. Well, I guess it, you know, depends on, you know, what you got to do, but take your time if you can. And if you swipe, the arch is basically creating the arch of your eye. So you can start small and then go bigger. What I really love about this P. Louise base, guys, it's like a cream to powder finish. So it dries down really, really nicely and it doesn't like move to where like you got concealer and stuff everywhere, because you can use concealer to cut your crease. Fun fact. If you don't have this P. Louise base, it's just like a concealer. Some people say, well, how far do you go? Well, some people could do a half cut crease, or you could do a full cut crease or partial. It's pretty much up to you, a halo. There's different styles to the cut crease. To make sure that it's as straight as possible, I kind of just do like that arch move. And I'm kind of rotating the brush. I go like this and rotate this way and rotate. Instead of like actually moving the brush, you can like rotate your hand like this. That'll help the product arch like you want it to on the eye. And you can kind of raise your head up a little bit to see the arch a little better. That's like a key thing, to raising your head up a little bit. And also notice I didn't go all the way like this onto the eye. I went down because I didn't want that smoky part of the eye to get covered up, which will kind of defeat the purpose of us doing it, you know. And then we'll also go back in with more of a smoky color anyway, but that's just how I choose to angle the crease. Okay, so this is pretty much what my cut crease looks like on this side. And now I'm going to do the other side. Okay, so once you already go ahead and cut your crease, you want to go ahead and go in with your lid shade. So for today's lid shade for this look, I will be using a gold color. So the gold eyeshadow that I'm going to use for this look today is going to be from the Masquerade palette. It's the shade right here. It's called Dahlia. So for this shimmer shade, I like to wet the brush. I'm just taking my NYX Dewy Finish. This is their setting spray, and I'm just going to spray this BH Cosmetics number 6 brush. It's just another flat brush like so, and I'm just gonna spray it towards me. I'm just gonna spray this brush, and I'm gonna go into that shade right here, and then I'm going to go in on top of that Louise base. I'm going to apply it. Ooh. I wonder how this is coming up on camera, because this in person, baby girl. Speaking of baby girl, y'all, I got a bomb Be Simone Beauty lip gloss swatches coming up for you guys. So what you do with the eyeshadow, you just want to pat. I'm just patting the eyeshadow, and I'm just pretty much tracing that cut crease, but I'm using a patting motion. This helps your eyeshadow come off more. Bam! Bam! Just like that. How cute is that? So this is what the eye should look like after you already applied the gold color on top, or whatever color of your choice. So after I take that gold shade, I'm gonna go back in with that Sigma E35 brush, where I took that shade Zulu from the Masquerade palette, this shade right here. And I'm just gonna go back in and apply that onto the outer part of the eye. You want to go back in with this shade right here from the palette. You're going to take that shade and apply it right on top. So next you want to go in with this shade Fulani, that dark shade here, with that BH Cosmetics tapered blending brush. Y'all, we're pretty much just repeating the same steps. Last color, Morphe James Charles palette. That same shade right there, that brown black. You just want to apply that to the outer third of the eye, right on top of that first shade. I'm going to go back in with this Sigma E40 brush, our all over blending brush, and I'm just going to diffuse that product. Again, circular motions working its way into the brow bone to blend those harsh edges. Okay, y'all, this is pretty much it for the eyes. Lastly, I just take a makeup wipe and I'm just going to wipe off the excess fallout from the eyeshadow. Okay guys, so I hope you all enjoyed this cut crease tutorial and I hope you all learned from this tutorial. Don't hesitate to ask me any questions. If you have any comments or concerns, please leave them down below. I promise I will get back with you. So yeah guys, thanks for watching and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And subscribe. I'll see you guys in part 3 and don't forget to watch part 1 if you have not already. And we out. Whoa. That's how big this baby you.